The music industry sells fame, fortune, and the dream of making it big, but behind the spotlight is a world most people never see. Exploitation, manipulation, control, broken artists, and a system that often profits from talent while destroying the people behind it. This series pulls back the curtain on what really happens behind the music. This is the dark side of the music industry. Where do hit songs really come from? We like to imagine a songwriter grinding away in the studio, building every word and every note by hand. But some artists describe something very different. Not writing a song, but receiving it. That idea leads straight into the phenomenon known as automatic writing. The claim that a song can arrive through the artist, while the artist feels more like a channel than the source. And the claim goes beyond ordinary inspiration. It's not just being in the zone. It's the idea that the conscious mind steps aside. The words come through automatically, and the artist is no longer fully steering the process. Source material pushes the idea much further. It suggests that some of the biggest songs are not purely products of a human genius at all, but transmissions from some kind of unknown source, with the artist acting mainly as the receiver. What makes this topic interesting is that major artists themselves often use language that sounds exactly like this. Not just inspiration, not just creativity, language about channeling, receiving, and being guided by something beyond themselves. One of the strongest examples comes from Robert Plant, describing the writing of Stairway to Heaven. The way he tells it, the words seemed to arrive on their own. He was not carefully constructing them, he was watching them happen. And this is not limited to classic rock. Artists in completely different eras and genres describe similar experiences. Drake, for example, has spoken about feeling guided by some other power. Different time, different genre, similar language. The phenomenon is also described in performance, not just writing. Some artists have framed their stage persona as something separate, almost like another presence takes over once the performance begins. Artist testimony is one thing, but the source material goes much further. It claims this is not just an occasional personal experience. It alleges that ritual practices are built into parts of the industry itself. The most extreme version of this allegation centers on what the sources describe as a master tape ritual. According to that claim, recordings are subjected to ceremonies before release in order to attach some kind of spiritual force to the finished work. And that leads to the supposed purpose behind the ritual claim. The theory is that music bypasses the rational mind and reaches people through emotion, repetition, and imagination, a kind of backdoor into the subconscious. Whether you believe the supernatural version or not, the theme itself is old. Stories about music arriving beyond the artist have been a part of music history for decades. From Crossroads mythology to classic rock to modern pop, there's also a grounded explanation that makes a lot of sense. What artists describe as channeling may simply be a powerful psychological state, flow, a condition where self-consciousness drops away and creativity feels effortless, automatic, and almost external. So this is where the distinction matters most. What is supported? Many major artists really do use language about channeling and receiving. What remains unproven? The insider claims about rituals and hidden rooms. And what is interpretation? The idea that the force being described is specifically demonic rather than psychological, symbolic, or unknown. And after that, the biggest questions are still open. If the stronger allegations were true, would artists be conscious participants or simply talented people caught in a system they do not fully understand? And there's a modern version of the question too. If older claims focused on physical master tapes, how would any of that even work in a digital-first world of streaming files, server farms, and platform distribution? Is automatic writing just a rare creative mystery? Or, as the source material suggests, something closer to a hidden operating principle behind the biggest songs in the world? That remains an open question. So what do we do with this? We stop assuming every big budget, every flashy rollout, and every overnight success story is proof of talent or genuine demand. Sometimes the numbers don't make sense because the music is not the real business. Sometimes the artist is the image, and the money is coming from somewhere else entirely. So pay attention to what doesn't add up. Who's funding it? Why does the artist vanish just as fast as they appeared? Why does the lifestyle look bigger than the audience? Because the dark side of the music industry is not just exploitation of artists. Sometimes music becomes a front for something much dirtier. But not every shadow in music starts with money. Some artists would say it starts much earlier, in the writing, the inspiration, and the source of the song itself. The next chapter is the automatic writing secret.